to Rebel Vendetta Radio. Today we're talking about slut shaming. Currently, slut shaming has become a disturbing trend. Now you see a lot of teen and even older women harshly criticizing each other. This has even led to some people committing suicide. Today we're going to discuss dress codes, sexual patterns and behaviors, body type and body styles, use of makeup, body enhancements, foreign smells, things like that. Especially makeup. I know it's kind of funny. Some girls can post on Facebook and they will say something like chilling with no makeup on. And clearly you have makeup on. Or they will say, oh, I just woke up. I'm like, and you can tell it just...
Bae caught me sleeping.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. So these are things we're going to discuss today. The first topic we're going to discuss today is dress code.
It's funny how you will never find a dude complaining about how females dress at the club. Yeah. I mean, I don't care how you call her a slut or anything, man. It's still at the end of the day, she's trying to dance. Ain't no nigga gonna say no.
I mean, not all girls though. Just, I mean, you can't say that about all girls.
No, but you won't complain though. You're not gonna be like, man, I wouldn't even dance with her because she's wearing because she's dressed in a certain way. That's what I'm saying. If it's out.
I know. I mean, that applies to only good-looking women. That's what I was trying to go.
So you're trying to, it's okay for good-looking women to dress slutty, but not ugly women?
But not ugly women?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Well, at least you're being honest.
I'm being honest. I mean...
So what are ugly women supposed to wear at the club?
I mean, dress decent, but...
to show up.
Dress decent, but... Don't overexpose yourself.
Wait, what do you
mean by ugly? Do you mean like bigger women?
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking because if you don't overexpose yourself, do you mean like bigger women are not supposed to wear something so short or something so revealing?
Yes, I mean bigger women should not wear something short or something too revealing.
Why not?
It's too
much. What if that's what's sexy to them?
And what if some guys like bigger women?
Like bigger men.
Exactly.
Yeah. So wait, you're saying it's okay because you're skinnier. It's okay for you to have a woman who's skinnier dressed slutty, but for bigger men, they can have bigger women dressed slutty for them too.
Or even small women who like big women.
What? I think she's hinting something.
Yeah.
Wow, you said small women who like bigger women. Dress code. I know a lot of girls like to dress sexy or sexual or whatever, and what I say to that is, guys, just because a girl dresses a certain way doesn't mean that she's a slut. But at the same time, girls, you have to understand that shit is fucking confusing. For example, if I was walking down the street in a cop outfit, and you see me, you might assume I'm a cop. I'm like, excuse me, officer, can you please help me? I'm going to tell you, oh, just because I dress this way doesn't mean I'm a cop. You have to understand where the confusion kind of comes in. So what do you guys think about that, the dress code?
I agree. There is a certain decorum, and you can be sexy without looking like a slut or suggesting sexual, I don't know, having a sexual persona. Yeah, like you can look good without doing too much. It's when you overdo it, I think, is where the confusion comes in, and where you just trying to simply, look cute. Is kind of taken and misinterpreted by men as, oh, she wants sex, like she wants it, so I'm going to give it to her, and then that leads into a whole different, topic and situation. However, I do think that just because a woman's wearing something, that does not give any man nor woman or anyone the permission to make sexual advances to them. If they've said no, they've said no. And
but then why do women dress that way?
They dress that way because obviously they want attention. However, despite the reasons why they're dressing, that's insignificant to the point where we get into slut shaming and rape when that's concerned. That's a whole different. It takes it to a whole different level when you go beyond someone's consent. So I mean, to look sexy, that's one thing, but when you take sexual advances to the point where they're not consensual and you rape someone or you're calling them a slut because of what they wore, despite the reasons why they're wearing it, I mean, they wear what they want to wear, but that doesn't give anyone the opportunity or privilege to make sexual advances to that person without their consent.
Wait, time out. What do you mean make sexual advances without their consent? So how exactly do I get your consent? Well, I say, hey, excuse me, can I
make a sexual?
I mean, I think we all know how sex comes. I think we all know how sex comes about. Like you start conversation, whatever you do. Everyone's different. Everyone goes about it differently. However, a sexual advance is having sex with someone without them saying yes. If they're saying no, or if they're blackout drunk, that's taking advantage of someone. So you do not have their consent.
It's funny how
I just want to talk about this one instance where this girl killed herself. So apparently she was being attacked a lot on the internet for being a slut, quote unquote. And some people were saying stuff like, hey girl, did you know that you spread Nutella, not your legs, and stuff like that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but to me, I feel like slut shaming on its own, most of the time they're actually telling the truth. To be honest with you, they're really actually telling the truth. Like this one girl said, did you know that your boobs go inside your shirt? You know, that's kind of telling the truth. I mean, personally,
it is telling the truth, but the way you're, addressing the issue is not the right way. If somebody's dressing if somebody did something inappropriate, you're not supposed to be slamming them about it. You're supposed to be correcting them about it.
How'd you correct them?
You're a hoe, Moses.
No,
that's not gonna change.
A certain way means you're a hoe.
No. I'm saying, if you got dudes, in your place, like you got a revolving door. That's door just every dude, every time, every. You're a hoe.
Change,
but it's okay for guys.
It's okay for guys, though.
That's not me. That's society, man. Okay. I didn't make the rules. I'm just society.
Let me ask you guys a question then. So, like, what's your definition of slut? Because here's my thing: some of the girls that people call sluts, they're actually some of the hottest girls to get. I think what happens is, if a guy tries to talk to a girl and she shuts him down, then he just calls her a slut and just blasts her online. That way other guys would think, it's just easy, blah, blah. And when you try, you actually find that those girls are not necessarily easy. So what's your definition of a slut? Anybody?
If you like sex, you like sex. And I don't know why you have to be a slut because of it.
Well, it depends, though. If you like sex,
some people
you sleep with a whole football team.
Should we go to the dictionary?
This is my question. Like, I always ask somebody, if you have a female who sleeps with
Shout out to Quan Quan.
A girl who sleeps with 5 different guys in a week, a different guy every day, and you have this other girl who sleeps with the same guy every day for 5 days. They're basically both having sex, and how
same
guys,
amount.
Okay, same amount of sex, exactly. There are other factors. I don't know if it's very appropriate to say on here, but you know how guys are all like, "Oh, she's a slut because she's loose or whatever." What difference does it make if it's having sex with the same person, same penis every day with different penises?
Oh, it makes a lot of difference, though.
It's a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference.
It's like saying, it makes a lot of difference. It's like saying, I'm married, right? But I'm sleeping with my husband every day. We have sex every single day for 20 years.
Okay.
And this girl, she's having sex with different men for 20 years.
She's
a hoe.
She is a slut.
She's a slut.
Slut shaming all the way for her.
When do you put that line and say somebody's a slut and somebody's not a slut?
That's why we're here today.
Jay,
the line is
we
very
all know
fuzzy.
where the line is, Jay.
No, we don't.
You
we really
all know
don't.
the hoes.
We really
do.
No, we don't.
If you don't understand why a girl does what she does, you can't really.
For real. Y'all know
So
all
where's
the
the
hoes.
line?
Huh?
Where's the line?
I do. I'm just saying. There's people that like.
Who? Name one.
Hoe.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get shot. I'm trying to graduate.
Anyway, moving on. I want to bring this to you guys. I want to bring this issue to your attention. So apparently in India, this became really, really big. So some girls were getting raped in India. Government officials were trying to tell them how to avoid being raped. And I want to read some of the comments. When I read one, I'll let you guys respond to it. Then I read another one. These are actually funny, by the way. The first one, this guy said, I support death penalty for rapists, but there should also be a law that women should not wear less clothes and roam around with boys who are not their relatives. What is the need for roaming around at night with men who are not your relatives? This should be stopped. And then he went on to say that earlier, if men and women would hold hands, they would get caught by parents and reprimanded. But now everything is so open. It's like an open market with open opinions. So he's pretty much suggesting that, the women enable the rape or
I mean,
rapists.
I understand why they would say that, because to guys it's all about what you see. So when you do see a female dress a certain way, you do get certain thoughts in your head. But then I also agree with Selena when she says that just like flirting is not consent. Just because you dress a certain way does not consent, does not give you a right. I mean, you will have that thought. You're a man.
Of course you are going to have that thought.
You will have those thoughts. And especially, you know, I mean, it's a good-looking woman dressed a certain way. You will have those thoughts. But it does not mean you act on them.
But what does that mean then? What if someone is really interested in you?
That is true, but then you walk up to them, have a conversation with them. It does not mean that you guys will have sex. I mean, if she's a hoe, you will. But
wow.
I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, my point is, women dress that way because that's what
Men
women
expect.
want to see. Because it's for real. If you have two females and one, I mean, guys do have their own preferences and whatnot, but if it's a female dressed a certain way, more guys are likely to approach her and talk to her because of how she's dressed, because it's all about what you see. So we do dress that way because that's what you guys want to see.
When you say we, does that include you?
Anywho,
okay, that's a yes. Moving on.
Yeah, people dress the way they, you know, because that's what is going on in the society too.
And at the same time, so you expect that kind of attention, right, from guys.
When you dress that way,
you know exactly what guys are going to think about you, right?
If I'm going out and I'm dressed a certain way, yes, I do expect guys will come and talk to me.
Then why do you tell us not to assume?
I'm not saying don't assume
we're going to have sex.
With you.
No.
Assume that.
Then don't dress like a hookah.
No.
Okay, no.
If I want to attract someone.
If I want to attract someone, maybe that's my goal. What if that's my goal? Just
Okay,
attract
okay, see, that's what I mean by so confusing.
I'm going to ask the guys here a question, right? If you're single, you're trying to go to the club, what's the number one thing you're trying to do that night?
Bang somebody.
No, that's you. Not me.
Shoot. Man, sometimes you're never honest, man. Moses, what is it?
What you mean?
Okay, here's the thing.
What are you trying to do, Moses? What's the number one thing you're trying to do? It should be known. Like, this shit should be known.
I call it investing.
Thank you. So what are you trying to do that night? You're trying to take a girl home, right?
Not necessarily.
He has a girlfriend.
Not necessarily. I'm not trying to take a girl home. That's not on my mind.
Take her to his car.
That is part of my goals, but another goal of mine is investing. That in the future, I will bang you.
Correct?
So you try to get that number, right? So
Yeah.
Later on, you can be like, hey, what's up? Hit them up or whatever.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not going to the club to look for a girlfriend. I'm not going to the club to have a friendship.
Yeah,
I'm not going.
I'm going. In the end, it's going to end in sexual relations.
Know that. Like, you guys shouldn't understand that.
Then you're in the wrong
dress
city,
that way,
dude.
and I come to talk to you, you should understand that.
Then it shows that most spouses meet at Cactus. But seriously, you make a good point, though. You make a good point.
So that's what I'm saying. So you should expect that. If I'm coming to talk to you at the club, we at the club. We're not talking about homework. We're not talking about school. We're not talking about family.
Some people actually do talk about homework.
Okay, this is my question to you. What would you do if you went out one day to a party and all the females were wearing sweatpants and winter coats?
I would leave.
And burgers.
Exactly, because that's what you want to see.
And
right?
we're not complaining.
We're not complaining about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, we are kind of complaining.
Yeah, you are kind of complaining.
The females are
complaining. We're wearing
complaining.
a certain way, but we're not giving you what
No, I'm saying
you want us
because
to give you
because we're not having sex with you. We shouldn't.
No, that's not what he's saying. Time out. Let's just summarize this. We're fucking confused. Okay? We don't know what the hell you guys want.
If I come talk to you,
you dress that way, and the way you talk to us, you lead us on.
Thank you.
Guys do the same thing.
No, we don't.
We do not. We tell you what we want from the beginning,
and I lead you on at the club.
Okay, this is what I think. I think we're looking at this from a one-sided perspective, and we don't see both sides, the men and the women, as having the same type of concerns and expectations. For example, we have this club scenario going on. So I'm a female, I'm at the club, I'm looking good, got my heels on, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
There's a guy, first off, I dress this way, one, for myself. I want to look good when I go out.
But not slutty.
Bottom line. I don't think I dress slutty. I might wear a tight-fitting dress and heels and, wear a little makeup and things like that. But my boobs aren't out. I don't wear really short dresses, things like that.
We're not talking.
Yeah, but in general, you like to look. You got this girl looking good. And she's looking good because she wants to look good, for one, for herself. No one wants to go out looking, horrendous. And when you go out, most of the girls around you are going to be beautifully dressed as well. So you also got to think of this as kind of like oh, I'm going out. I don't want to be the only girl there, you know, looking a hot mess. And then guys, when you see her, you're like, oh, she looks good. But you also, okay, so we understand that once we look good, we know that there's going to be guys looking at us. We know we're going to attract attention. However, it's all about the way you come to us. And we understand that guys, when they come to us, they have their own motives. Most guys at this age simply want to, a lot of them who are out at the clubs and who especially hang out at the clubs week after week, they're not looking for a relationship. They're not looking for a relationship. They want to bang. They probably want to bang.
And you know that.
No, listen. And we know this is.
And you still dress to go there.
No, listen. We know this is the expectation of some men who come and approach us. Bottom line is, I feel like when you're attracted to someone and you're attracted enough to them to go talk to them, of course you think sex. You're sexually attracted to them. Eventually, somewhere along the line, whether it's today, tomorrow, or next year, depending on where that relationship might go, either way, you want to have sex with them. So that's that. Let's stop acting like you guys wanting to have sex with a good-looking woman is bad on our parts because we dress a certain way.
We're not complaining about that. We're complaining about
No, I'm just saying sex is going to be in the equation either way. Whether I'm dressed slutty or I'm dressed good, or we meet at the library and you just like what you see. Sex is going to be in the equation either way, but we also have to remember double standards. We're telling women not to do all these things, but look at the way men approach us. Just because I'm dressed a certain way doesn't mean you can say, "Hey, baby girl," come to me respectfully. And guys who play their cards right can get laid if they really play their cards right. No, seriously.
Can or will.
Seriously, and seriously, it's all about your approach and how smooth you are. And it doesn't mean you're going to get laid that night. But I mean, eventually you can get laid. And if you don't want a relationship, you just have to be straight up with people. Let the girl know. Because I have friends. I have friends, and I know people who just like to casually have sex. Seriously. Just adult, grown-up sex. You hang out from time to time, and when you hang out, sometimes you have sex. I know people like that. It exists. Girls can be the exact same way with no strings attached. But men, let's stop acting like it's women who are clingy. Because although that might be true, like Jane was saying, men do lead women on because you don't let us know straight up. Hey, I'm coming to you. You look beautiful tonight. Maybe after you guys talk a little bit, you can let her know. I'm not looking for a serious relationship. I seriously, just out dating around.
Well, you can't really tell them that. That's an automatic cancel.
That's an automatic cancel.
That's an automatic.
No, it's not. If you're I'm saying after you've stimulated the girl with conversation, don't let that be the first thing out of your mouth. I'm not looking for a relationship. Right. Oh, let me hit the A.
But you just said come.
No, I said come respectfully. It's all the way you come about it. And of course, if you're if you're talking to someone over time, you're eventually going to figure out, oh, this person wants to. Those are the things that naturally come up in conversations. If you're attracted to someone, oh, I want a relationship. Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I graduate in May. I'm really just out here dating around, being young.
Dating around.
We get that. We get that. But you have to let us know. You have to let girls know. And a lot of times men will come up to you, play smooth, take you out on a date, have sex with you. I've had friends who literally that has happened. They never hear from the guy again. No, seriously. No, seriously. I've been in a relationship for 4 years, so it's not me. But I seriously, like, the examples I give you are true life examples. Like, I've had friends, numerous, and these are very attractive women, but who are in college, and when they graduate, going to be in successful major money majors. These girls getting stood up by these guys, and really all the guy wanted was sex. Well, now my friend's over here heartbroken, you dick. Because you couldn't be straight up and tell her you weren't really looking for a relationship. You really played her, and guys do that. You guys just play games.
Okay. Woo. All right. That was
okay?
that was refreshing. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's come back to
you want
rape.
some juice?
Time out. Let's come back to rape for a minute. We'll get to sex. It's still on the table. Let's come back to rape for a minute. Now, I'm gonna read a second statement. This one is a bit more shocking. And I want you guys to respond to that as well. Okay? Keep in mind, this was said by a scientist in India. It's one of the top scientists in India. He says that when a group of men intends to rape, they will do it. The victim should save herself for bringing the perpetrators to book. Had the girl simply surrendered and not resisted when surrounded by 6 men, she would not have lost her intestine. Why was she out with her boyfriend at 10 p.m.?
What the heck?
What?
So he's saying pretty much, if some men are trying to rape you, so she was killed because she resisted. If some men are trying to rape you, just let them do it. Why the hell resist? Because if you resist, guess what? They're going to kill you.
And rape you.
Well, they'll rape you first, then kill you.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I just think these comments are just very insensitive, and I mean, just think about it. Being a guy, like if you were raped, I feel like I don't know. On the subject of we talk about slut shaming. Like I sent you guys a video on Facebook.
You sent it late.
You type in, yeah, I did, because I just found it today. But if you type in slut shaming on YouTube, it's like one of the first links. But this girl talks about her personal experience, and it's not just slut shaming. Like, oh, she was out wearing a provocative dress and, you know, people start calling her names. Like, no, it wasn't that. She was raped. She was out. She was really drunk. She woke up the next morning, found out that she apparently had sex with some guy that her and her friends were hanging out with, and she had no consent to it. She was totally blacked out. Like, she totally didn't remember it. Her friends just told her this. And, I mean, it's a real story, and she was just kind of giving her personal testament. Like, when she went to work the next day, everyone knew her business. She asked her friend not to tell. Everyone knew her business, and this was her 18th birthday. Like, this is what happened to her on her 18th birthday.
So, what's the point, though?
Slut-shaming at work the next day, and, like, she didn't want to tell anyone to share her story of rape or tell anyone about it because she was afraid. She feared of being called a slut and being said, you know, oh, you shouldn't have been out drinking and you shouldn't have got blacked out drunk. Just because someone is blacked out drunk. True? No, it's a disadvantage. Why are you having sex with someone who can't even fucking walk? Like,
I mean, I'm not trying to condone him.
No, I know.
But there's
I'm
also
just
some steps you can take to avoid that kind of crap. And this guy,
yeah, I totally agree.
I disagree with the way this guy say whatever he said.
Yeah.
But he makes sense. He asked at the end, why the hell is she out at 10 p.m. with her boyfriend? Seriously, that's a legitimate question. What the hell are you doing with 6 men by yourself at night? Seriously, can you answer that question? I don't care if you call them friends. 6 men by yourself at night drinking? Come on now. You don't do that. As a girl, you know. As a girl, you have a vagina. You want to protect your vagina. Here are 6 men who have penises. Once hormones start raging, you know. Because when some girls, they get drunk and they get a bit sexual. Knowingly or unknowingly. If you get a bit sexual and a guy is thinking, she looks like she knows what she's doing, he might just go in, you know? You can just don't put yourself in those situations. To me, I have to agree with him. I don't condone rape. I don't condone date rape or any of that crap. As a girl, there's things you can do to avoid it. Seriously, if you go out with men, don't drink that much. Or take a taxi. Don't even let them take you home. Because you know they're going to make it stop at their place first. And next thing you know, you're on the couch at someone's house, and you wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning.
I like this.
I agree. I believe there's things that can be done on both parts, men and women, to decrease the number of rapes as far as, you know, dressing too over provocatively. And like you said, it's common sense. I would never go somewhere with, 6 guys and just hang out late at night. Like, I just don't trust it. It seems fishy to me. But some women are bad, have bad judgment, make bad decisions, and unfortunately end up in some of the situations that we're talking about, which is very unfortunate. However, like you said, there are things that you should be aware of, your surroundings. Who are you hanging out with? How much are you drinking? Are you drinking too much? In order to reduce your risk. There are things to reduce the risk. Not to necessarily avoid, because if someone has their eye out on you and they're going to rape you, they're going to rape you. Or they're going to attempt to, and if they're stronger than you, there's not much you can do. I mean, there's only so much you can do as a person. You can't stop someone else's motives and false intentions. However, there are things, smart decisions, that you can do in order to reduce your risk.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll continue with this topic. We're going to switch to... Small girl, you were playing with it, and if you get to blow, you know, say money no be wahala. Open another bottle on my top. You're with a big boy, I hope you blow no mutalab. And small girl, you were playing with a thing now. We gotta blow, you know, say money no be pinned down. Wait a minute, let me show you about time. Party like we be stranded on cloud 9. I won't come from my show, no, they trying God. You're now rocking with the best and the bang. Wait a minute, let me show you. Many little things on my shoulder. When you step on the floor, then you do it. I have a few questions from some of our audience, our listeners, or whatever you want to call them, and we're actually going to answer those questions. The first question is, someone asked, does the humiliation actually work?
Humiliation from what?
I mean, slut shaming, does it really work? I would say yes. I mean, first of all, because I think peer pressure is always going to be a factor. Some girls, I know that's how even some girls lose their virginity. You know, a lot of your friends claim they've been having sex, whether they're having sex or not. Next thing you know, you want to try it too, and you try. You're not a virgin, and they say, haha, we're lying. We're actually virgins. I
mean, I don't know. All this, I think, if you just...
I feel like humiliation can work, but then it can't, because I feel like if you're out there and you're a slut, and some people call you sluts, some people will stop, because then, you know, they maybe have a reputation and whatnot, they don't want to be called that. But then some people still go on. We know people who have been called sluts and still do the same thing. So I feel...
We do?
It could work, it could not work. If people were just like, you know what, I don't really care. You can call me whatever. I'm going to keep doing whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? People are YOLO. Some people, yeah. So some people will stop. Some people won't.
I'm going to say it does work, but it's probably not the best means to...
What is the best mean? I mean, what can you really do?
I mean, why do you really care?
Exactly.
Unless you're having sex with that person or want some type of intimate relationship with them for yourself, why is it really anyone's business to say anything about how many times someone has sex and who they have sex with?
I mean, honestly, it's not just me a question. I mean, if you have a friend and you think that what they're doing is not right, I mean, they're sleeping around with a lot of people.
Okay, that's different if this is not friend.
I would say talk to the friend. It's a tough... I've done it before. Several times, actually. It's a tough conversation to have. I guarantee you that.
You're a hoe.
Cause I mean, you don't say you're a hoe. I mean, you're not going to say you're a hoe. I usually say something like you have a problem.
Oh.
Whether you agree or not, you know you have a problem. You're having sex with all these men except for me. What's wrong with me? I'm kidding. But seriously, it has to be something like that. You know you have a problem.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, something like that, I agree. I mean, you can tell them,
yep.
you know.
Don't just say
this
so are we agreeing it's a problem? Is that what's going on right now?
I mean,
some people,
it works in different situations.
When you're out here contracting diseases and having babies.
What if you're having safe sex? Is still a problem?
What was that?
If you're having safe sex,
you can have safe sex with 10 people at the same time.
Some things can still be contracted even with a condom.
Wait.
Some things.
Jay say you can have safe sex with 10 people at the same time.
What do you consider safe sex?
One person.
That's what you consider safe sex.
At the same damn time.
With contraceptives.
With contraceptives, right?
That's safe. But with 10 people, the safe word kind of goes away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, but...
See, the way I think, like, if you have sex with 10 people, like, the way you guys are talking, that's when you call it, like, you know, that's when you can start calling somebody, you know,
a slut
or whatever. But, like, if you have sex with only one person, you know, and you've been having that person for a while, you know, there's no point of calling that person, you know, or if another friend knows, there's no point of calling them, you know, a slut. Because
let me ask you a question, Duncan. So, no, this is a good question. So, one person, and I agree with you, it's just one person, it's not a slut, right?
Because, yeah.
What about two?
Two?
That's what I'm saying. When do you draw that line? When do you say this number?
What
about four?
Let me ask the females a question. And like this, you're looking at, you know, marriage, whatever. You already gone through college, whatever. So you're looking to settle down. Would you want a man with experience, or you a man that like
with no
never
experience?
had sex, like never?
Everybody wants somebody who has experience, but I'm saying, when do you draw that line?
And not everybody.
When do you draw that line and say that, oh, this person slept with 20 people? What if you're getting married at 40 and you meet this guy and for some reason you had sex with 100 people, but this was in college? He's changed. Do you still call him a slut? He was a slut. You know what I mean? Like, when do you draw that line and say that sleeping with this many people is there a specific duration too? Do you say sleeping with this many people during this time? Because what if you slept with one person a year? What if you've had a relationship every year? You've been faithful to that person, right?
It all comes down to your business, man.
Exactly, and you just slept with that person that year. You guys broke up. You dated somebody else. You were faithful to that person for that year. Maybe you dated 8 different girls over 8 years, so that's 8 different people. Do you call that person a slut?
I mean,
but 100.
I don't care how many people you sleep with.
I mean, 100, of course.
Just don't let me know.
Too much.
Just don't let me know.
Okay, see,
I don't
that's what
understand
I'm
why
saying.
people
When you
can't,
get
like-
to that place,
No, I
that's
wanna
when
know.
you
I
decide
think you should
if you
know.
want
I
to
actually
know.
want to
I
know.
think you should know.
I have to know.
Maybe
No,
not
but
a
like, okay,
number.
people be like, okay, people be knowing everybody's business, man. You know?
Give me a
That means
range
you're
at
not-
least.
But
You
that's
know.
how these diseases and stuff.
I mean, you can always go get tested together
Yeah.
if you really don't want to know how many
Yeah.
people.
There you go.
You know.
I always
But
tell people, when I get engaged with someone, the first thing we're doing together, I'm gonna get engaged at the freaking testing booth. Let's get tested.
Before you say yes.
We're both negative. Then I propose right away.
So that's what I'm
There.
saying. When do you say this person's a slut or not? What if the person has had 15 different girlfriends but's been faithful to them, slept with 15 different people?
That brings us to our next
Is
topic.
that being a slut?
The worst slut is subjective. If you're a Christian and you're not married and you're having sex,
That is a slut.
technically
that is
you're a slut,
true.
right?
That is true.
True.
And that's the thing.
I
True that.
guess.
Like I said before, we discussed this on one of our shows, and I told you guys the same thing. My view on sex have changed a bit. Before, I used to believe that if I'm a virgin, I'd like her to be a virgin too, because then we have sex for the first time. The only thing we know is amazing.
Magical.
But today, once you've already had a taste, it's quite different. It's better for a girl. No, listen. It's better for a girl to have no experience than the guy. Like I said before last time, the vagina is a whole.
that's a double
doesn't
standard,
need a
right?
training. Let me finish. The vagina as a whole doesn't need any kind of training or duration.
But it does.
Let me-
It needs
okay,
more.
Let me finish. Let me get to my point, right?
You're fitting in a
No,
tight hole.
let me finish. But let
It's
me
more
finish.
painful.
Okay, but let me finish. Let me get to my
Adjustments.
point, right? Either way, the vagina, you're always gonna have it. You're not gonna have a problem with like, oh my god, it's not
A penis,
hard.
you always
I'm
have
finished.
it, too.
Let me finish. With the penis, if you have no experience and the girl has experience, and you guys get married, she's gonna be frustrated to death. If you can last more than 30 seconds, because it's your first time, how do you think she's gonna feel about that? Think about it though. Especially if you argue and you have sex to cool down, and you guys argue for like an hour, and you have sex for 10 seconds.
You still gonna be mad.
Exactly. That's why I think it's a slight advantage there with the girl. It's a slight
So
advantage.
basically saying it's okay for guys to sleep around to gain
I never
the
say that.
experience.
I didn't say that. For me, I would like to know a range. And I would love us. Honestly, I'm not going to be unfair and be like, okay, you have to have 0. I would like us to be in the same range, to be honest with you. I mean,
Well,
ideal.
would it be a deal breaker where maybe the girl has more experience than you? Would it be a deal breaker?
What you have more experience than me?
I mean, like you say you would like it to be in the same range. So maybe let's say 10 to 15 or something.
If I'm 10 to
and
15,
the girl
and
is
she's
like
200 to
50
250.
to 100, would
Fuck
that be
that.
a deal breaker?
Yes,
but
that's a deal breaker.
everything else that you want you've ever wanted a partner is there except for that.
Man, that's one of the main ones. That's a deal break. I'm sorry. If I'm 10 to 15 and you have 50 to 60, nah. Sorry. That's just too much.
But isn't it to your advantage though?
How's this my, what the hell am I going to do with 50 to 60?
Isn't it?
So that
Isn't it
means,
all for your advantage?
how's that for my advantage?
All for
Please
your
explain.
pleasure?
Please explain.
All for your pleasure?
No, it's
She's
not.
learned and picked up
I can
traits along
teach,
the
so
way,
I don't have a
right?
problem with a 0 person. If you're willing to teach, I can deal with a 0 person. Seriously,
man.
50 to 60?
Yeah, nah, man. A 0 person.
Nah, bro, dude.
My thing is, we're
It's-
talking about sex as if it's some hard,
It's not hard.
complicated. I mean,
But for guys, it is.
practice makes perfect. And if you're married with someone, especially a newlywed, you guys want to be, having sex all the time.
Not if you only does 30 seconds at a time.
Okay, well then you just have an issue if that's
Maybe
a
you get that
reoccurring
checked
issue. You
out.
need to get that. Yeah,
Erectile
like that should not be
dysfunction.
happening either way.
So is that a deal breaker for you guys then? If a guy has erectile dysfunction and you love the guy, please say no. Jen looks like she's going to say yes.
Wait, answering this for me.
Again, answer it.
I would be honest.
30 seconds at a time.
If I were a virgin and had not had sex, I probably would feel different about it.
You wouldn't know.
Because I mean, you still have sexual urges being a virgin, but it's totally different after you've actually have had sex. Your urges are, they're stronger because you've actually had it. You know what it feels like, so you desire it. But seeing as I know what sex is like, I would not continue a relationship
Wow.
if I were single with someone who I don't think I would. It would have to be an extreme case, like I had been dating him, or we've been really close friends, and I'm just so in love with him. But since that's not my case, not my situation, no, I would not.
What about you, Jane? 30 seconds or less. What would you do?
Can it be fixed?
No.
Is there like pills or?
I mean, there's a blue pill, but it's still 30 seconds at a time.
Why 30 seconds, man? I don't go more. What are you talking about, man?
Anyway, moving on. We're gonna switch gears a bit from this sexual topic. Next up, I want to talk about is smells. Now, I have this girl. She was saying that she's noticed that most of the time, I know some African girls or some Indian girls have been made fun of because of the way they smell, and now that has become part of slut-shaming. That has become part of slut-shaming, where you see people saying that, oh, this is a deodorant, use it. I mean, you say some Africans don't use deodorants or they don't shower or something like that. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you guys have heard that ever.
I've never heard that about Africans, but I have heard that about the Indian culture specifically. And it is true. Actually, it's funny that we mentioned this because my supervisor we had this conversation recently because there was someone who worked at our facility, and she was like, how do I talk to this person about this issue? Like, they smell, and I know it might be a part of their culture not to use deodorant, so how do I go about this without hurting their feelings?
Part of the culture
but I mean, it is true. It is very true. Foreigners especially, I've never heard about Africans. It's more of an Indian stereotype, but it is true sometimes, but it's a culture difference as well.
So then let's talk about it. How do you go, if someone smells, a good friend, how do you go about telling them? I've done it before, more than once, and I think I've done it the wrong way before, so I don't want to share those experiences.
Well, I've never had a friend who smells, so yeah, I've never, had the experience. Is it
smelling as in a situation where they don't shower, like body odor? Or, because I know people who have a permanent, you know what I mean? There are people who have, it is a condition, it is a medical condition. There are people who have a certain smell.
Tell them soak in Epsom salt.
Well, I guess that could work. But I'm saying if it's a situation where the person is not showering, I think I would approach it in a situation where I'll be like, oh, so I have a friend, and I want to tell them something like they don't shower. I would ask them how they would go about it.
Wow, you asked that friend, but isn't that kind of obvious, though? Yeah,
I mean, also it depends how close I am with this person. You know what I mean? Like, it depends how close I am with this person.
Yeah. Let's say a really good friend. Like, how would you? Honestly,
they just start smelling?
What I did was I told the person, we need to have a conversation because people have been talking about this friend or whatever, and I told the friend, I'm your friend, and you know how I am. I'm very blunt. I don't like to hide stuff. So I'm gonna come out and tell you this. You feel free to react however you want to, but I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. People have been talking, and I've noticed too that you have a certain odor. I'm not saying you stink. I'm just saying it's different. That's exactly what I say. I say I'm not saying you stink, because to us stink might mean something. I know sometimes I cook like, oh, that smells, So I'm saying it just smells different to me. Have you heard that? And what do you think? Woo! Person just got so pissed and they left. Until today, we've never talked. So I thought I did the right thing, but apparently I didn't. So how would you approach that situation?
Well, if there's someone of a different culture, I would, ask them, start off with, hey, like, is it in your culture to wear deodorant or things like that?
That's rude.
If they say no, I mean, you have to go about it some type of way. And
if you ask me that, I'll get offended.
Truth hurts. No, I just seriously, there's no reason to get offended. Like, some things are part of people's culture, and wearing deodorant might not be a part of some people's culture. And if you move to America, that is a daily part of American culture. You wake up, you slap on some deodorant every day.
After you take a shower.
A few times a day.
Actually, Americans don't take showers that much. They take showers at night, not necessarily in the morning. That's one I've noticed. See, that's another thing, though.
But I do it even if I just get up and I'm, like, going somewhere real quick, I still roll on deodorant. Like, it's not just me getting out the shower. Like, I put on deodorant. Like, you're not going to call me musty.
Not putting a deodorant for a shower. Just to be sure you put it on. But seriously, it's a tough issue. And I don't want to say anything because the way I'm in life right now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I know a few friends who might have same problem, but I don't know what to say. I really I like to help people. I mean, it's funny, we laugh about it, but just to be serious, I have no idea what to do. Like, what do you do, And you hear other people talking about it.
I've never heard about the Indian thing, but what I've heard is
I really haven't heard
about the Indian. I've actually heard about white people
What about your roommate?
smell
Like dogs.
like white people
Wet
smell like
dogs.
wet dogs. I've heard that before.
I
That's the
don't
one
even know
I've
what dogs
heard.
smell like. Oh, wet dogs.
That's what I've heard. I mean, and I heard this from here on the Silver Loop, and they're like, "Oh, those white people." Some black people are like, "Oh, they smell like wet dogs," and I was like, "Really? I have never, I've never."
And then they say black people smell like Africa.
What does Africa smell?
I know. What the heck?
That's but
No, but seriously, I guess if the friend was close, I would go buy them. I like to do things for people, so I would go make a nice friendly gesture, go buy some body wash, go buy some deodorant, lots of it, and I would say, hey,
I
use
bought you
this.
lunch. You want some?
Yeah,
Exactly.
or this is just a gift of my appreciation. You
Yeah.
did this for me
They
so
had
long
a sale,
ago.
so I bought. It was a buy one,
I
get
was
one
thinking of
free,
you.
so I'm gonna give you
Exactly.
one.
So
isn't that lying? So you lied to your good friend?
no, it's not lying. You're
but
giving them deodorant,
you
and then
also have
you
to-
can try
I
and
mean,
slide it in some way.
Yeah,
I mean, when the
also
moment
depending
hits,
on
it'll
how
feel right.
somebody's sensitive is. There are people who are super sensitive. You'll be like, you know what I mean. So if I have to go through buying it for you and telling you, oh hey, they had a sale, or I thought about you, which I did. Yeah, I thought you smelled, so I bought you deodorant. If I have to go through that way, I mean, I didn't lie. I thought about you, and I bought you deodorant and body wash. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you the whole truth, which, I mean, it is omission and some point it is lying. But I'm just saying, so if I have to go through that way just because I know you overreact to situations, and if that is going to lead you
Soften
to you
the
using...
blow.
Exactly.
I don't
then-
think it is lying. It's simply softening the blow. Like, if you have an issue or quarrel with someone, you want to go about it the nicest way possible, especially if they're a friend. You're not trying to run them off. You want them to know, like, oh, you could even write them a card. Like, it doesn't even have to be something that's verbalized. You can give them the gift of deodorant and body wash, and write them a nice letter saying, hey, I
That's the
really
finest
didn't know.
mindset.
Exactly. Hey, I really didn't know how to say this to you
A letter?
verbally in person. I didn't know if you would be offended or not. So I was thinking of you while I was out because, I've noticed a certain odor. And, like, seriously, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to, help you out. So here's, gifts. There's a way to say it. It'll form right once you have to tell your
But
friend.
what if in their culture that smell is rich?
What?
What if in that person's culture that certain smell is the smell of richness?
I mean, but you're in America.
Yeah.
So it
When
doesn't
you're
have
in
to smell
Rome,
like
do what the
American.
Romes do. When you're in
I
Rome, do
mean,
what the Romes do.
if you've done that and given them this deodorant or body wash or whatever, you've done your part. You can't take them to the, you can't force them to use it now. You've done your part. You've told them what is going on. You've told them, hey, I smell, you smell different, and I've got you deodorant, I've got your body wash. That's, from there, it's up to them. If they decide they want to use it, they know they're in a country where people will be talking about it, that's up to them now. You've
Right.
done your part.
And if you're a sincere friend and your friend knows you're sincere and you're not malicious, they're not going to be offended by it. Like, I mean, I feel like we're all at the age where we know body odor, blah, blah, blah. We have to be presentable. We're going out into the workforce. No one wants to be, stinky or ridiculed behind your back about something
be
that can
surprised.
simply be fixed. If you put on some deodorant, like, it's as simple as that. Waking up in the morning, shower, and putting on deodorant. Like, it's that simple.
But-
I would want to know, and I would respect someone for having the courage to tell me through whatever means, however they decide to tell me. Letter, buying me something verbally, bluntly. I'm the type of person I can take constructive criticism as long as I do feel like it's not vicious.
But
It's all about how you say
no,
it.
the
It's all
thing is,
about
though,
how you
the
say
thing
it,
is, if you
too.
cook a lot, though, you tend to smell like your food. If you've noticed, if you go to like I don't know, anyone who cooks a lot would tell you your clothes tend to smell like the food.
I've cooked
things like
Asian
that.
food before
And-
and gone to Asian market, bought like, the sesame seed oil and all that. Like, I do smell like, like an Asian restaurant or, after I'm finished. Like, I do smell.
Yeah,
My
that's true, yeah.
house like reeked of this Asian food. That's just because that's a smell we associate with Asian foods, because that's the smell that comes off when we cook those type of foods and those type of oils and use different types of seasonings. But yeah, that's true. You start to smell like your food, but that's different from a musty.
Smell.
Like there's
Yeah,
like
that-
there's a
everyday
like
musty
yeah there's an
smell.
that smells like Asian food, or like it smells
That's-
like something you would cook with more so. That smells like some
Or
cooking.
that smells like somebody hasn't showered.
Yeah,
in a while.
now that's
See,
different.
I always tell people use the word different instead of bad. I always use the word different now. I always say it smells different, or it looks different, or it seems different. Because to you, you might think, oh, this is just wrong, this is just bad, and it's just different, The last topic we have for today, someone is asking about what do you guys think about girls who have body hair, specifically armpit hair?
Me being a girl, I don't do that. I barely find it. It's not attractive when men have a whole bunch of hair under their arms. But hey, men don't have to shave. That's just the nature of it. But I do feel like as a woman, you should stay trimmed and keep yourself up to par.
But what about religions or people? There's
Hair.
some cultures that do not condone cutting any hair at all.
But that's the thing. Hair also holds older, so we
Older,
want to
yeah.
get back to the older part. I mean, our
It does, yeah.
hair holds older.
But you
as
still
well.
have to understand those cultures, though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just stating a fact.
But then
hair
in that
holds
kind
older.
of situation, I feel like if you're in a religion or a culture where you're not supposed to shave, your armpits, maybe your legs or whatever, then shower twice a day if you sweat that much. You know what I mean? If you sweat that much, and then probably in a situation like that, you also don't use deodorant. You know what I mean? If you're, I'm just saying, it might be that you're not allowed. Yeah, it could.
Bit of a correlation.
Yeah, you're not allowed to
possibly.
shave. You're not allowed to use deodorant. With that situation, if you know your body, if you're a person that sweats heavily, take a shower twice a day. You know what I mean? Like,
there's ways around
there
it
are ways
too. We're not
around
telling
it. Yeah,
people
we're not
to
telling
break
you,
their
yeah.
culture or anything like I respect it. Like if that's of your culture where you don't. If I gave my friend a gift basket and said, "Hey, deodorant," she said, "No, I understand your concern, but my culture doesn't do that." I would say, "Okay, well that's fine. I totally understand. Maybe shower a couple times a
also
day.
maybe give it back.
Like there's things that you can do to mask the scent, but to just smell and
Personally,
not do anything is inconsiderate.
to be honest, it's not my preference. I mean, I hate body hair even on myself, to be honest with you. Like my armpit hair, I hate hair. I hate that crop. So if a girl has hair on her armpit, I mean, to me personally,
so that's also a preference.
I don't see
too.
that ever turning me on.
What about hair elsewhere?
What do you mean
What about
hair
pubic
elsewhere?
hair?
Pubic hair, yeah.
Trimmed.
I
You
mean,
gotta
there's
keep
some
it-
girls who
don't
like
get
that or
crazy.
who do not touch that area at all. That's your preference.
Jungle Book.
But if you're going to be expecting fellatio, I mean, you should be cautious.
Exactly.
You should be cautious to the guy and trim it. Because, like Errol says,
No one wants a mouthful of hair. I just feel like seriously, that's what it is at that point. Like, it's just like you must not want head then. Like you didn't.
Same goes for guys, though, right?
Yeah,
Same goes for
to be
the
honest,
Wait,
It's
wait,
not,
for
it's not the
guys.
same
You
for
shouldn't-
guys.
Yeah, you shouldn't have hair growing on.
I mean,
Well-
if it's growing on your dick, yeah.
That's
But
a problem.
that is a problem, but
That's
I'm
a
just saying you should
situation.
just skip it, trim. Skip it.
Oh no, but you say,
Skip it.
but
No.
how's that even a problem? Because it kind of never mind. I mean, the way it extends, there's no hair at all for like a mile. But whatever. Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just
That was awkward.
yeah, be considerate of your partner.
All I have to say to that
just
is
be considerate.
be considerate.
Yeah.
If your culture needs a lot of body hair, if you're a girl, I mean, it might mean that you're gonna have to just marry or date people who also enjoy body hair. Because I mean, yeah. See, that's the problem with me. Like when I meet people, I try to meet them on a level that's not physical. Like I said, I only have 2 physical requirements. You have to look better than me. I have to be able to lift you. Besides that, I like to go on a different level. Kind of see how you think, how you talk, things like that. But then when I get to the point where I'm seeing armpit hair and body and body odor, come on, I don't know what to deal with that. Because that's gonna be going back on my word. If she looks better than me and I can lift her, but then she has like body hair and stuff, and then I know some girls that don't shave at all, like legs, nothing. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, there are some certain standards that you're supposed to abide to. I mean, I'm talking personally. No,
of course,
I'm not saying-
of course. I mean, I'm not trying to put down anyone's culture. I mean, if that's you, then that's fine. It's just not my preference. If I rub your legs,
And it's like rubbing a cat.
But also, you gotta realize, you're in America, right?
I mean, yeah, you're in America. It doesn't mean just because you're in America mean you have to give up your culture.
Exactly.
Don't
Well-
do that. Don't do that.
But try to blend in. Like, don't
Yeah.
smell like hot
Right,
onions on a Sunday morning. Like,
No, some people can't blend in. What about the barker? You can't tell someone
there's
else.
some things you can pick up being in a different country, different culture. There's some things you